Hello. It is here with a branch of the United States government just ordered uh, a huge megatonnage, many countless millions of dollars of anti-radiation um, medicine. Did you hear about that? Isn't that interesting? I'm sure there's no connection whatsoever with things that are going on right now relative to ordering many, countless, I think it's like $200 million worth of radiation medicine. Isn't that neat? I'll edit that out of this video. That won't make this video. No one will ever see that. You can go Google that, by the way, if you like. There's only two types of people in the world ultimately. I've talked about 5 different types of people, but there's a different subset, of which there are really only 2. There are people that judge by spirit, and there are people that judge by materiality. There's different classes, and of course human beings love to pigeonhole things. They love to pigeonhole things. And the easiest way for human beings to elevate themselves, people with no ability and no wisdom and no intellect, is not to raise themselves up by building ladders of intellect and wisdom relative to those, or financial elevation relative to those around them. The easiest way, no, is to point out the splinter in someone else's eye when you can't see the log in your own. I think that's a Bible verse, yes, I'm pretty sure it is not to elevate yourself, is to dig a hole underneath other people. That's how frauds and evil people and power-mad people work, because people that want power fundamentally are evil and ignorant. I wish stupid people of the world would realize that anybody that wants power over others both doesn't deserve it, and they're actually disobeying natural order. We're not talking about a wolf pack here where somebody, a wolf leader is picked, where, he works collectively towards the whole. That's something completely different. That is natural order. People don't want power over others. It's totally horrible. What you do is, these evil people in the world, is that they dig holes. That's what we see a lot of these days, is that people don't elevate themselves. They actually dig holes underneath other people so that they fall into little pits, and they dig deeper and deeper holes. And it's like, look how much higher I am than that person. It's like, actually, you're at the same elevation you were before. The only thing you've done is that you've lashed out and attacked everybody around you. And you've dug holes underneath them so they fall into a pit, and it makes yourself relatively seem better. I think there's a story about one person on an island. He blinded everybody so he would be king, and he was a worthless person himself. I think this is where we get the idea of the land of the blind. The one-eyed man is king. That's a perfect example of digging holes up underneath other people. People talk about intelligence. They're always asking me, is like, what's your IQ? What's your IQ? People love to ask me that, both in comments and also too in live chat stream. And the answer is completely irrelevant. IQ tests do not test for nonlinear problem solving. They don't solve for anything that's fundamentally important. Never have, never will. Spontaneous thought genesis. There's a million things that follow natural order. Metaphysics, there's nothing about metaphysics and wisdom and genuine insight that will ever be found in any IQ test. People that are highly intelligent and have no wisdom, I've been, by the way, and I was invited there. I would never, ever go to a Mensa meeting. Never, but I was invited there by a former girlfriend ages and ages ago. She's very intelligent herself. And some of the most horrible people I've ever run into. Absolutely horrible. They think they are their intellect, and they are not their intellect. It'd be no different than this radio. I don't know if you like volatile memory, like RAM. Of course, if you take a battery out, like you store all these DTMF codes and all these different channels in a typical radio, if you pull the battery out long enough, same as on a camera, you have all these personalized settings. There's a tiny little watch battery in there that keeps all those personalized settings. Take the battery out long enough, then the memory is wiped. Same would be true of, say, the most intelligent person on Earth were getting into a car wreck, and their brain is scrambled. All that stuff is gone, and that's not who they are. And they took all their value in that. And people make all these classes. They make financial classes and intellectual classes, and also to make classes out of how beautiful or how ugly you are. Everybody's equal in spirit. That doesn't mean everybody is the same. You know, water is water is water. What is potential is not actual. I mean, there's a reason why we don't drink out of the toilet. Your dog does, but you know, water is water is water. But why don't you drink out of the toilet? Because what is potential is not actual. Suffer the antinomies of either intellect or beauty or financial gain. Anyway, these countless classes that human beings in their great ignorance, you know, hold over others so they can make themselves feel better at night. And none of that stuff you're going to take with you to the grave. You're not going to bury it with you. It's not going to follow you after death. Death, of course, is not the end of life. The opposite of life. It's the breakup of consubstantiality of matter and spirit. It's not wisdom. You don't take it with you. So people judge either by spirit or they judge by materiality. Here's something else that's really important, and it just is a personal observation, which is 100% undeniable. A couple things. If the crap were to hit the fan tomorrow, say like, I don't know, 85% on the planet, 85% of the peeps on the planet were to perish due to some super cataclysm, asteroid, or, you know, all of the stupid bits of humanity, like dropping nukes on the other bits, and the other half of humanity dropping nukes. 80% of humanity, like, you know, the poo really hit the fan. The people that think they're so smart, and, you know, with the lamb, they'd be the first people to go. People that will make it is like Jim Bob Goober McGooberson up in eastern Kentucky with his moonshine still and his old-fashioned crinkle board washing machine. You know, he dropped out at elementary school in the 4th grade. He knows how to find ginseng. He knows how to read the leaves. And, you know, that's the guy that's going to make it. There's actually a few elitists, like the mega billionaires, that have built billion-dollar bunkers into the side of mountains. You know, they have like 100 years of MREs and whatnot. Them and their immediate folk. The only people that will survive will be Jim Bob Moonshiner up in Kentucky, or, you know, some other similar place, and about 100 genetically sickly yet super wealthy people. You know, that have a mountainside bunker, something like Cheyenne Mountain. Those are the people that are going to make it. You know, a simple bee, which makes, you know, gathers pollen and nectar and makes honey, is easily dumber than the dumbest human being on earth, but the natural order that they follow amazes even the most intelligent and the most wise person on earth. Intelligence isn't important. There's a guy that lives next to me that plants tons of veggies. He's as goober can be. Wears overalls. He's got this old Jed Clampett hat with a giant turkey feather sticking out of it. And I'm never going to have a conversation with him about Greek metaphysics or anything, but, you know, he knows how to farm. He knows how to grow. He can read things of nature that your common pseudo-intellectual, yeah, vis-a-vis Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. These people that think they're so smart, they have no wisdom. Most of them don't. I find it kind of funny, too, and you could let me in on what you think about this, is that why is it these people in various parts of the United States, which I'm just going to use the United States, for example, they keep electing the most horrible people. And if you think this is political, I don't really care. I don't discuss politics. These people that think they're so smart, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Los Angeles, Chicago, they keep electing people that destroy society, are like the Antichrist against natural order. And it's just drugs and crime and homeless people shooting up in the street. And they're total freaking hypocrites. These are the people that tell everybody else that they shouldn't own defense tools. Pew, 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 pew. You know what I mean? But they themselves have a closet full of them. They've got a panic room, and the panic room will be, look like the armory, the SWAT armory. But they're out there telling everybody else, you shouldn't have none of that. Rules for thee, but not for me. Those are the super intelligent people that think they're so much better than everybody else, that keep telling everybody else that people that should run their lives are the very people that destroy their lives. I mean, what do you think so many people... I lived in San Francisco with my wife long enough. Why do you think people are fleeing in droves from the very epicenter of where everybody, I'm not saying everybody's like that. I know I'm generalizing about California and Chicago. But I mean, there's a reason for that. People are fleeing there because, these people that think they're so smart, have people that are destroying society. Not only are they destroying society, they're violating natural order. I'm sorry, you expect me to have respect for these people that, well, I have a high IQ, I went to Stanford, bully! Is that what the English say? Bully! Bully! Isn't that what the pseudo-intellectual British aristocrat? I said, dear fellow, I said. I need a monocle right now. I said, dear fellow. Did you go to Stanford? I graduated magna cum laude from Harvard, dear fellow. What about you? These people. I have a very high IQ. I've been tested. Bully! These are the people that don't know how to screw a light bulb into a light socket. Getting back to the metaphysics, I'm sorry I had a bit of humor there. People judge by spirit, or they judge by materiality, or they judge by looks. There's a few other ways that people actually judge. Consciousness is volatile memory. Lots of information. People say, what about past life recollection? It's actually hyperlogical. Superficially, it seems hyperbolic and fantastical. Kind of like everything you hear in religion. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Well, it don't have to make sense. You just need to believe it. It'd be the same thing as a hard drive. In the case of a new body, the table of contents is wiped. All the information to be present on the platters, in this case, a reflection thereof of the information within the spirit. But in obtaining a new body, in the case would be the water, by the way. The table of contents is the water, analogously. The table of contents is wiped. When someone actually formats a hard drive, for example, unless you actually have an executable program that literally erases every bit on the hard drive, formatting of the hard drive, all the contents are still there. You just erase the table of contents so that everything that was there, which is still there, gets overwritten. But this is the reason why organ donors have memories of the people that donated. There was someone that get a liver or heart transplant. They'll have memories. Very, very specific memories of things that they should not have memories of, but it was the memories of the person whose organs were donated to them. This is the case of the table of contents analogy regarding the water. So people take pride in intelligence, and you should not. You get hit in the head, a car accident, you get senile, Parkinson's, all sorts of stuff with your memories wiped. It's never commanded of any branch of metaphysics to be super intelligent, because you can't take it with you. And it does not lead to liberation, and it is not any sort of parallel or analogy of liberation, transcendence, of being concentric to spirit. It is not. It cannot be by definition. Consciousness is exactly like volatile memory. Got a lot of information, but it is consubstantial to the body. It goes no further than the body. However, a mirage of it is kept within the spirit. Past life recollection is real, but you have to get past the erasure of the table of contents from one life to the next. I've said this many countless times, and it is true. Genuine metaphysics is actually hyperlogical. It is nothing fantastical about it. Fantastical stuff is reserved for religious bunk, hokum, poppycock, snake oil. You get my point. And I love it. Throughout my entire life, I've run into all these people that think they're so smart. They're miserable. They have an intellect. It's like, well, this is wonderful. You have such a high IQ. I don't begrudge anybody of that, but people I like and get along with are people that follow natural order. I much rather hang out with, an uneducated, illiterate goober that knows nature and how to grow vegetables. He could tell you all sorts of secrets about nature that he's learned. Than someone that his head is full of facts but doesn't know how to do anything. I really have. I've been to Chicago, and I'm not trying to typify people in Chicago. I mean, I met plenty of nice people in Chicago, but there are these epicenters around the world where this pseudo-intellectual intelligentsia resides. And these are the people that elevate themselves, not literally by elevating themselves in any way, shape, or form, but by digging holes out from underneath everybody else. And like, oh, look how much higher I am than you. It's like you're not any higher than you were before. And you're not going to take that intellect with you past the grave. It's completely impossible. I get so many people, I still find it shocking. They say, what's your IQ? You're so smart. I've never seen anybody, live stream. I could answer like 100 people at once, seemingly. Say, but he's so smart. Intelligence is not important. I could, somebody could hit my head tomorrow. You have a stroke in 5 years. I could have a stroke tomorrow. You never know. It's like, sure you can. You're so fat. You probably will have a stroke. I know someone's going to say that, so I'll preempt you by saying it myself. That's not important, and that's not the goal of metaphysics. It's not connected to wisdom at all. It's connected to the psychophysical body. I don't put any hedge in intelligence. I love knowing things, how to fix things, how to do things, but I don't put any hedge in it whatsoever. Neither should anybody else. Well, I didn't go to Harvard like he did, so I'm just a peon, because he's got a degree. Well, so what? I've debated these people. They're not smart at all. Their heads are full of facts, but they can't synthesize anything. They've never had an original thought. They're just parroting the stuff that they were read and taught. I got a PhD at rock. I can recite trigonometry, rock. I've met so many people like that. So many. I got a degree. What about you? I went to Harvard. I went to Princeton. I'm sorry, I find this very funny, even if you don't. Intelligence is not important. What I'm really trying to say in this video is everybody should work to better themselves, but you should try to better yourself or spend most of your time bettering yourself on what's actually important. And that's not anti-intellectual. I am the furthest thing from anti-intellectual. I mean, I have my own friggin' library. A substantial one, too. But that's not important. Those are the road maps. The road maps are not about the maps. Like some people just collect maps. Like, look at all these road maps I got. I got a lot of information. Yeah, you do. And you're going to take it with you when you die. The road map is supposed to be, to get you to your destination. That's all it is. There's an old saying in ancient Pali, what need would you have of the boat having crossed to the farther shore? Yeah, you're right. It's expedient means get you from here to there. Anyway, I'm sorry I've not made any video the past 2 days. I've been preparing to head to Florida on Sunday or Monday, one of the 2 days. I even got a broken water line down there now that I found out, so when I get there I won't have any water. Yay! Thankfully the water line's only a few feet deep. Yeah, it's not very deep in South Florida. I know how to fix PVC lines, so God, I hope I can fix the water line pretty quickly. Have a lovely day. Thank you. Goodbye.